Hello there, this is Cookies. I have turn 35, and this turn is looking very quiet. So we receive a chassis of the mountain from Agartha. We'll be sending that out to Kailasa. I think Kailasa. And then, okay, the dragon has a... That's a damn lie. Um, there's a Ring of Regen, Bracers of Protection, Crown of Blood. So improved MR, improved protection, getting both of those up to 22 and adding additional regen. Pretty strong kit. Shouldn't have any issues with Trogs. So we can go ahead and check it out really quick. So after all the buffs, up to 27 protection. And again, unholy weapons and quickness. So a shit ton of attacks, and then if it ever runs into sacreds, it even gets more attacks. Okay. Then we get some misfortune. All right, in terms of what we're sending out, not as much this turn, but we are about to finish Extraction 7, so that'll unlock lanterns for us. We've got hammers ready to go, and we're not distracting researchers from getting there. And we're using fire gems, because we're going to be blowing a lot of fire gems on lanterns. So I did steal, I guess this is worth going over really quick. I stole the Amber Clan so I could get a couple of Water 2 mages. And then I stole this to get some sisters because they're stealthy disease healers. I've got demon priests for being priests, so I don't need the nuns. And then I'm training Glamour 2 mages from this site. This is all to improve the magic diversity on the steel ovens. Oh, that's cool. Martyr's Grave. Alright. Otherwise, we're still just piling stuff up. You see a larger bat army here. Muspelheim has moved onto this fort, so our scouting is lacking when it comes to seeing battles. And now that I've started recording this, I'll have to make a mental note to be more, I don't know, intentional with my scouting. All right. We've got a couple of Satis armies rolling in, pretty large ones, including Hoberg crossbows. Pretty nice addition. We do lose... Oh, the stabbing demon. Okay. So they patrol out this Zabalban assassin. Lose a terracotta soldier, and then they patrol out our scout. Alright. And then we see a golem running around down here. So, pretty cool. I'd say at this point in the game, the teams that we're most friendly with is the Pangea team, where we brainstorm ideas to kill Ubar thugs occasionally. And then the other team is the Agartha team that we chat to a fair amount. We haven't really talked to Baratos, but I mean, Baratos and our team haven't really needed to talk about anything. I know what they're doing. They're researching and spinning up blood economies, and it's going to be awful. I don't know when, but it will be at some point. I'm not sure if the teams around them realize how bad it's going to get. And then, oh, pretty reasonably friendly with the Vanheim team because Ballin is playing Arco. And we're pretty friendly with Ballin. So, and then we've got our two naps. So we've got a nap with the Pangea team. We've got a nap with the TNN team. So that's why we're not running around in this area, because Pangea still, I would assume, considers it their land. So, not trying to step all over them. All right. So I think that's fairly good for this turn. We can take a look at the graphs. Get Hinnom back in there. Or Kailasa, whoever was missing. So you can see our provinces, forts, income, gem income, blood, research, Dominion, Army, and Ascension. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop into turn 36. All right, so I've got turn 36 up. We bought a homunculus, so that was nice. Found a garden of pearls. And then McCone and Zabalba are fighting. I guess pinging Zabalba's PD. Then we've got Marverni and Zimria, so Marverni's pinging the Vanheim army. There's a lot of Vanheers. He's also got access to Jade Maidens and Pegasus Riders. A lot of point buffing going on. All right. We got some death gems. We get some pearls. Two pretty good ones for us. All right. So now it's lantern time. So you can see all the hammers going to work, making those lanterns. Also, you can see what we're sending out this turn. Oh, the stuff to Roos. He asked for an extension, and then I got distracted and didn't give it to him. But I saw his extension request, so I felt bad because he ended up stailing. So I sent Roos some gold and some earth gems and an apology. Because that was a pretty bad miss. Like, I was looking directly at it and chatting in that channel, and then forgot to give him the extension. All right. Making some Shambler skins so we can get these guys to leave the pond. But yeah, otherwise, continuing to research. So now the goal is we're going to pick up Thom 4. Thom 4 is for teleport. We need Thom 4 so that our pretender can move from here to Silent Cavern, because it's a lot less disruptive on the nation if I cast Eternal Pyre from here than for me to move all the fire mages to here, because we have Grand Communions. So I see no reason to not have all of our, or at least all the fire mages in the area help out. So we're going to pick up Teleport. Now, if I did my math right, I think we're going to get Thom 4 in one turn, or close to it. So that'll be nice. And then we're going to try and speed run Enchantment 6. And that's going to let us cast Pyre. And then all the lanterns are going to go out to our team, because the fighting portion of our team is going to be Kailasa and Hinnom. I want them to have good battle magic to support their armies of sacreds. And then I'm going to sit back and do more blood hunting. So that's kind of the game plan there. And then, yeah, pretty calm on the battles this turn. I would like to get a battle if we can. Some of our scouts have been patrolled out. We can still see the Muspelheim army here, but it looks like TNN has reversed some of the Macone gains over here. We see a fairly large TNN stack. Although that looks like an Ur stack in TNN. Alright. We can see Ulm again on Sarmatia. And I think that's all we need to see for the moment. So I'll go ahead and check out turn 37. I'll be right back. All right, so I've got turn 37 pulled up. Well, we get a couple of hammers from Hinnom, so we can make even more lanterns. We do have more combat this turn. Our Jaguar Tri-Priest gets cursed. And let's check out the combat. So we have a large number of, this looks like province defense for the fort. So it looks like Muspelheim's trying to clear it. Now the vulnerable portion of this squad is the Jarl, or the hearse. And he's 17 protection, but with significantly less HP and even a little bit less protection than the giants. He also represents the leadership for the force, so if they can get this guy to rout or kill him, that'll be big. Now, he does have a heroic trait, +6. So he's actually really hard to hit. He's already harassed a bunch. Wow, so what is he, like 25 defense? It might be too much for the bats to hit. And Muspelheim's going to take this easily now. Probably, I don't know if these darts are going to do anything. Yeah, 25 defense, crazy. An excellent hearse to get. Cool. We have a follow-up battle in Ostmark, so is going to move onto the fort, try to knock them off. Or not, or it's just going to be an Aikido archer. Ulm attacking Sarmatia. So we've got a very kitted out golem. Frostbrand, Scutata, Iron Face, Black Steel Full Plate, Boots of Quickness, Chains of Reconstruction, and Ring of Tamed Lightning. No expense has been spared. Increased attack skill on a golem is golden, because normally their attack skill is awful. 31 protection, 89 hit points. Actually decent defense at 16. Should clear this out, no problem. Yeah, 21 MR after buffs, Astral Shield, Body Ethereal. Alright. Does indeed kill the Witch King. We can take a look at the Witch King, see if it's got any gear. I didn't even realize it was there. Ooh, a Skull Staff and a lot of Death Gems. Okay. Pretty significant loss for Sarmatia there. That could have been like, I don't know if they have the research for it, but like a rigor mortis caster or just skelly spam. Pinging the Mannheim army again. It's still large. 5 Dwarven Smiths. Pretty big commitment. And then in Dry Fields, another Golem. Same kit? Yep. All right, so printing these. The reason for the Frost brand is if it does run into Jinn frequently have a cold vulnerability unless they're geared to protect against it, so this would take advantage of that. It'd be 8 armor piercing cold damage. All right, and oh my. Here we go. This is a gigantic army. Look at all these summons. The Kushi, which are sacred. Clockworks. Got Ice Drakes. Bunch of She warriors. We've got a bunch of Tuatha warriors as well. They're mostly on the right flank. And some Muspel giants who do not care about the ethereal bless. A number of Frostbrand thugs. A little bit of lightning, copper plate. Pixie spear for fatigue. This guy's got a marble armor. Actually gives him a cold malice, so he could be vulnerable to these thugs. Unless he's scripted to buff his cold resistance, which you can do from the fire path. This guy's holding a bunch of glamour gems, so he's kind of acting as a gem mule. And this lady is going to do some big glamour. A glamour form, maybe Twilight. All right, let's go ahead and see how it plays out. So let's see if we replay bugged this. This looks like a very close run thing, but the Muspel Giants pulled it out. Only one of the two Jarls routed. The other one stuck around. Alright, let's see how it actually went. Did attack, did get defeated, lost 4 of the She-Lords. Whole bunch of summoned Sacreds. 40 of the Tuatha. 400 of the 574. Killed a Muspelheim. Killed half of the Giants. And all the Muspel Herdmen. So just a complete bloodbath. Really fun battle to watch. At least for me. And then we've got another mage, outside searching, not scripted to retreat. Unfortunately finds another indie attack. Alright. And gets yoinked. Alright. So we've got our first set of lanterns put out. You can see some here. I think one's over here. Fair number of lanterns here. I'm not putting them on any horror merch people. Research is jumping up. So we're at 941 now. I'm gonna go ahead and keep on forging. We also randomed a Blood 3 Warlock. So we're gonna start forging Blood Thorns and other blood boosters. Kind of just in time because we're planning to start spinning blood hunting back up in a big way soon. Americano is going to go ahead and teleport over here. And then, yeah, I think that's most of it for this one in terms of what we're sending out this turn. Everything's going to Kailasa for the moment. Trying to make sure he has everything he needs to support this giant army. And yeah, so we see a renewed push. They're trying to get to this Sebulba fort here. And also trying to kick Muspelheim off of this palisades. So we see a bunch of Aussies about to enter the fray. Now, Aussies with an ethereal bless against Muspel Giants. Still pretty killy, but the bless isn't helping. So it's just because of who they happen to be fighting. So let's go ahead and yeah, I think that's pretty good for this one. So I might call it here. I'll go ahead and see you in turn 38 next time. Have a good one. Bye.